Yo, what's going on, fellas? So chapter 10 is officially out and we got a lot to discuss. New narratives, surprises, and ideas. So look, if you're not subscribed already, make sure you subscribe right now because the video this month is gonna be something you just simply don't want to miss. I can't believe we're already 10 chapters in Boruto TBV VORTEX. It doesn't feel that long since Boruto returned home and completely demolished Code. But let's save the reminiscing for another day. Right now, most importantly, we got another chapter to review and discuss. So for this video, let's go ahead and aim for 600 likes. If we can get that, I'll do a giveaway next month, but this time, not just for my channel members. I'll do it for everyone. So if you're interested in that, then just smash that like button. But without further ado, let's hop right into the video. The chapter starts off right where we left off. Team 10 tries to drive the fight away from Konoha because literally the chapter before, Jura just casually fires a Biju bomb from his eye and causes massive destruction. The only thing Team 10 was able to do in their fight against Jura was make sure Himawari doesn't get devoured, displaying some impressive teamwork and coordination that even catches the eyes of Jura multiple times. One thing I noticed about Jura is his unexpected class. When I say class, I mean it in a morally corrupt way. He can appreciate and admire the finer things like books, knowledge, and apparently now Team 10's coordination. But he has that evil aura to him that just makes him 10 times more intimidating. I almost picture him in my head having sort of a British-like accent. Maybe he likes to enjoy a fine wine, and maybe even own a pair of those one-eye spectacle things. I think it's perfect that he acts this way. Him being the main antagonist at this point in the story and the most powerful and intelligent Shinju. So just in the nick of time, we got Konoha and his party arriving to the scene of the battle. And he contacts Shikamaru to let him know that he made contact with the enemy. Shikamaru gets Konohamaru's party and Kawaki updated on the situation. Jura's target has now switched from Naruto to Himawari because of Kurama now being inside of her. It's still unclear whether Jura completely given up on Naruto because he couldn't find him, or because Himawari has the Nine Tails and he was actually looking for that all along. Regardless, it's no question that Jura would grow exponentially in strength if he does absorb Naruto. And this is a Naruto without Kurama, so it's better to be safe than sorry. Boruto, on the other hand, is handling his own situation. It looks like he gotten his karma back under control from that little skirmish between him and Kawaki. But the only question remains is, now that he's gotten his karma under control, which means the threat of Momoshiki emerging and taking control of Boruto's body is low, where does Boruto fit in this battle? Who exactly should he fight and still have it make sense narratively? And I'm gonna make a whole separate video dedicated to this topic alone, so I won't dive too deep into what I want to say. I'll just try to keep it as surface level as possible. But let's look at the very next page for a second. Kawaki seems to be a little pissed off with Shikamaru, partly because he's suspecting him to be secretly cooperating with Boruto, but more so because he didn't tell him the danger that Himawari faces. And that's something many people don't understand about Kawaki's character. Of course he seems heartless sometimes, like he doesn't care about anything else besides his own goals of eliminating all Otsutsuki and protecting Naruto, and he'll do anything at all to get to that goal. Ethical or non-ethical, it doesn't really matter. But looking deeper, he really does care about Himawari. Not because he's Naruto's daughter or anything, or he feels bad about what he did to Boruto, so he feels obligated to protect Himawari in his stead. Their relationship as siblings, even though adopted siblings, was pretty expanded in the anime. They even had a whole arc together to deepen that bond between them. And this is not the first time Kawaki showed his caring side towards Himawari, because you gotta remember how hard he worked to fix her vase that he broke. Even though the vase more so symbolized Kawaki and his broken character being fixed, or maybe not so much as his character, but him as a person, the vase symbolized his growth after he escaped from Jigen, his willingness to trust others, him just feeling whole again. So if Kawaki cares about a person or even considers them a comrade, he won't hesitate to try and save them with all of his power. So after Shikamaru tells Kawaki that the Shinju are after Himawari, he instantly flies off. I'm guessing to help Himawari and the others against Jura who flew after them, leaving Hidari to deal with Konohamaru and Sarada that just arrived to the scene. We know that since Kawaki is going after Himawari and the others, that basically lowers all of the possibilities of Boruto potentially joining up to fight Jura as well, in fearing his karma will resonate with Kawaki's karma again. So the most logical choice is probably to go after Sarada and Hidari, which is no doubt a much safer option. If I had to pick who would win in a fight between Boruto and Sarada, who both proven they can keep up with Hidari and possibly even overpower him, then I might have to go ahead and pick Boruto and Sarada to win that one. And I think many people will agree with that. Something to definitely look out for when chapter 11 comes out. It will definitely be a fight to remember. And to look at it in another light, if they get rid of Hidari or even make him flee from the battle, then that'll allow more people to assist Himawari and the others against Jura. Konoha was actually planning on chasing after Jura, but Hidari intervened and once again proved that he's just not as intelligent as his counterpart Jura. He doesn't know that he's the one that's trespassing into Konoha when he asks Konoha and the others what business do they have with them. I do find it a bit comical he acts this way despite being a clone of one of the most intelligent and logical shinobi in the entire series. But still, nonetheless, he remains one of the biggest threats Konoha has ever faced, and he should be treated as such. Sarada arrives, and it gets really interesting, because it looks like we finally see what Sarada was doing these past 3 years. And trust me, she wasn't just BSing like Kawaki. The mastery of her Sharingan and her enhanced physical skills is enough to see that. It's no surprise. You mix Sasuke and Sakura and you get a powerhouse of a child. I mentioned this in my spoilers video in case you want to hear my full thoughts on this little scuffle right here. But the sneak peek didn't tell us all we needed to know. This turned out to be an even greater feat than I thought, because Sarada not only perceived Hidari's movements, even using Code's claw marks to instantly teleport to Sarada's blind side, but she was still able to see the Chidori and have the necessary physical strength and reflexes to dodge it, while still putting out a counterattack using her own Chidori and tag him. And yes, this is impressive besides her using her Sharingan, because I'll say it again, we learned in early Naruto, even though you have the necessary ocular ability to follow a movement, it doesn't mean anything in the slightest if your body physically cannot react in time to move out of the way of the attack. And with that comes with just natural training and perseverance. So you still have to give her that credit. And for the people that are still watching to this part of the video, I'll give you a little sneak peek of a video I plan on making later this month. And it's mostly because after this fight between Sarada and Hidari, many people are letting the hype get to their heads. And some rumors that with everyone in base, Sarada is the strongest member of Team 7. And with that, I'm just gonna have to strongly disagree. I don't know where that rumor came from, but whoever came up with it, we're gonna have a talk. Although Sarada is strong, she just can't hope to match Boruto's base strength. I don't care what anybody says. But I'll be going into depth about that in the whole separate video. So make sure you got them noties turned on for when I do drop it. But I feel like it's time we get into the meat and potatoes of the chapter. And that is the dialogue between Himawari and Kurama. So it's no secret at this point that Himawari now has the power of the Nine Tails. From the conversation, we learned that Himawari and Kurama now share the same body. And it's very different than Naruto's case because Kurama wasn't sealed into Himawari. He spawned inside of her, and it has to do with the Nine Tails essence that existed inside of Himawari since she was little. And now since her and Kurama now share a single body, they have a deeper connection than Naruto and Kurama. Not emotionally, but genetically, right down to the chakra. A lot of people gave me backlash for saying that Himawari has more potential in regards to using Kurama's power than Naruto. And what I said wasn't a lie. Some people just misinterpreted what I said and thought I meant she will be stronger than him in the future, which I'm not counting out the possibility of that happening. But mainly what I was saying is that Himawari now has chakra similar to that of a Biju. Imagine if instead of Naruto having his base blue chakra and the Nine Tails red chakra as separate sources of power, they fuse to make a completely new type of chakra. Let's just say it's purple for simple reasons. And I didn't even mention she has access to the Nine Tails full power off rip, unlike Naruto, who only had one half of the Nine Tails sealed into him until nearing the end of the war. Just like Kurama stated, she has the power, but whether she'll let the power go to waste or not is her choice and her choice only. So she does have the potential but she still has to train to reach it. Even Kurama himself knows of this strong chakra bond that they share. Her chakra is greater than all of her predecessors, which includes Mito, Kushina, and Naruto Uzumaki. You can even throw Minato in there for technicality, but the first step into gaining this power is first and foremost believing in yourself. Believe in yourself to the point where you believe nothing can stand in your way. This statement from Kurama gave Himawari strength and courage to protect her friends against Jura. And as much as I admire her for this newfound bravado, it still fell short against such a formidable foe. I just simply can't stress this enough. Nobody can touch Jura at this point. I don't mean to sound like I'm glazing him or anything, but it's just effortless. Bro still has his hands in his pockets. And not only that, he's completely broken her leg. So unless Himawari has a breakthrough, it looks like this is the end for Team 10. But here, she learns what we knew all along. Emotional trauma is the gateway to unleashing the power of the Kyuubi. Until she can properly handle Kurama's power to the point where she can call upon it by will, Inojin was the unlucky one who had to be the necessary sacrifice for Himawari to access this amount of power. Because after Jura broken Himawari's leg, Inojin just charged at Jura off a fit of rage, which of course again fell short. But this time, he didn't get off too easy, I'm gonna tell you that right now. Inojin was impaled right through the chest, and it looks like he may be on the brink of death if he's not tended to right away. But is there a way he can be saved? Can Kawaki arrive and place him in the Daikokuta dimension until the threat is dealt with? I mean, just so his injury doesn't worsen. Maybe Himawari will use the healing properties of the Nine-Tails chakra to save him. Or will the greatest medical ninja in the world come and try to help him? I mean, this is a great time for her, am I right? There's honestly too many ways you can save Inojin. Too many to where I actually don't believe he will die. Maybe it's just me, but when it comes to the resources that's available now, and especially now in the Scientific Ninja 2 era, I don't think we should just automatically assume he's just gonna die. So I won't say too much about that, because I literally don't know what is gonna happen with Inojin. But personally, I think he'll pull through. Either way you look at it, this was just meant for a trigger for Himawari to unleash her power. Because after this, Himawari exploded and finally revealed her new Kyuubi form, which honestly looks amazing on her. It definitely gives me Kushina vibes the way her hair is almost alive-like. But this is where the chapter ends, right on this beautiful cliffhanger. I'm honestly speechless right now. Although we didn't get much fighting how we wanted, the setup into next chapter is gonna be what we all wanted to see. So let me know what you think will happen next chapter. Will Himawari manage to create an opening for Team 10 to escape with her newfound power, or will this transformation not matter at all? And what about Boruto, Sarada, Kawaki, and the others? What happens to them? Also, don't forget, Damon, Ada, and Mitsuki are still watching from afar. What happens if they choose to get involved? Well, excluding Mitsuki because it's his job to help. But what about someone like Damon? What conditions have to be met for him to help? Leave all your thoughts on the chapter and what you think will happen in chapter 11. Like I said, there will be many videos going into depth about certain topics that this video brought upon me and the community. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you can be the first person to know when these videos drop. And until my next video, I'm out. Peace.